In the words of the legendary Lou Gellerman, hello, dog fans, and welcome to the Sound the Siren podcast, because everything matters, including cooking turkey on Thursday and cooking duck on Saturday. I am your host, Hooligan7. I'm joined this evening by JCap. We may be joined by a couple of our colleagues in flight, as well as this episode will also potentially include a women's basketball preview episode with UW that will either be part of this episode or a holistic basketball preview or semi-holistic basketball preview as best we can manage. JCap, how you doing tonight, bud?
Doing great. Getting ready for the holiday and then getting ready for the big game on Saturday. So,
absolutely. Well, of course, we are on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Sound the Siren UW. We're also now on Blue Sky at Sound the Siren UW. Please subscribe and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to our show. If you're watching on YouTube, please like this video and hit that subscribe button to get notified when we post new content. If you'd like to support Sound the Siren, you can do so at podcasters.spotify.com/pod/show/Sound the Siren pod UW/support. We are a proud member of the College Huddle. Please check out at College Huddle and thecollegehuddle.com. But without further ado, it is, of course, time for beverages. JCap, you got anything tonight?
you know I do. I said it before. This will be my podcast drink of choice for a while. My Mountain Lake Game Day Gold. Shout out Mountain Lake Futures. Shout out UW Recruiting. So that's what we got.
Nice. Yes. It hasn't made its way out to my local QFC yet. Otherwise, I would be joining you in that, and maybe I need to venture further into the heart of the suburbs to find some and just stash it. I went a little different tonight, although I'm bringing back the Kraken Attacks from Seattle rum that I had last week, but I have it this week. I've got it mixed with a watermelon lime Oli Pop. So just
nice.
Experimenting on the fly, but it's not too bad.
Fair enough. Good choice. Sounds good.
All right. Stupid tweets. Got one that comes to mind for you this week, or?
I do, and this one is particularly rough. Let me find it because I need to get their at correct. So this is Fish On at OL151924661. Our good friend Dog206 tweeted, "Lock in your prediction now. The designated duck to fake injury this week will be blank." And this seemingly UW fan said Spencer Webb. Get that off of the internet. There's no space in any fan base for this kind of behavior. Unacceptable. It's nice to see so many Husky fans getting on there and telling him to take it down and clowning him for it, which is good because, football rivalry is one thing, but that's completely uncalled for.
Be better than that.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah, the one that I'm going to call out, and again, it's as often as I will fire on the Ducks, and certainly here's hoping we get lots of chances to fire on stupid Duck tweets next week. I'm going to go to this one that I'm going to call out is Woofer, whose is at Death Row Dogs with 2 S's. And he responded to a tweet that our newest commitment, Austin Simmons, was tagged in by the designer that did the edit. And tweet had to happen to tweet, not sure how to feel about flipping a 3-star tight end from Wazoo. Yeah. To a tweet that the recruit was tagged on.
The recruit's tagged in, yeah.
No.
Absolutely not.
Think about things. And particularly, as we say all the time, recruiting rankings are essentially semi-educated hypotheses.
Right.
But the end-all and be-all. Watch tape, please.
Right.
And if you don't know, and your first thought is to say something stupid like that, just keep your mouth shut.
Right. We talked about it a bunch of times too. It's say that stuff as much as you want to your friends in your group chats, but on the Twitter timeline where the recruit is tagged, just be smarter, be better.
Recruit could see it.
Exactly.
Be smarter.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
Number 7 public institution in the world. Be better, be smarter, dog fans.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Moving on into HuskyCouture. Do you have a selection for this week?
I do have a selection for this week. This is on the UW Bookstore website. The Champion Unisex UFW Twill Reverse Weave Crew Neck.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
That's my pick this week. That one's pretty clean.
That's bringing back a classic. It's been in and out of the bookstore for years, I think. Many, many, many years ago. There may be a few of our listeners out there that remember the dog, what was the dog house and became the dog den. I happened to manage the dog den for a little while, and that was something the bookstore had back in those days, and that's when I was in my 20s, and that's a while ago now. I actually decided to throw on my HuskyCouture this week, and of course I've got to shout out Simply Seattle, and I'll just stand up a little bit, and it's that kind of week right there.
Hoodie. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let's. I guess we don't have a game to recap because
we don't have a recap. Yeah, we're right into
no
big
recap.
Predictions.
Other than I guess we can say that it was a real fun week for anybody that's not a fan of the SEC and maybe all of it. We talked a little bit about stupid tweets from SEC Twitter last week, and
yeah,
funny how and all of the bashing of Indiana, the Big Ten, and
the SEC did their own thing.
So let's go ahead and move on into big predictions. Let me pull up the conference slate, and then, of course, we'll get into the Washington.
I'll give you
the standings update.
Yeah, because we didn't have one last week. Shout out to the Bomb Cyclone for cutting my power. Anyway,
you and basically the entire Seattle area.
Yeah, seriously. But DJ Hood and I went 8-4 last week. You went 10-2, along with Darker Knight also went 10-2. So you are now tied again with DJ going into the final regular season week of the year. So you're both at 81-24. And we'll see how these picks go.
All right. Well, we'll go right into it. And first one on the conference slate is a 9:00 game on Black Friday, and that is the Golden Gophers, led by the rumored to be serious candidate for North Carolina. I'm not sure why PJ Fleck, traveling into Camp Randall. The Wisconsin Badgers are a 2-point favorite. Over under in this one is 42.5. This one is on CBS. What do you think?
I don't know. Wisconsin's weird to me. Like, they're super inconsistent. They played Oregon pretty well. If they had a better quarterback, they win that game. If they had Will Rogers, they win that game. But I don't know. Both of these teams are super up and down this year. Honestly, you said Wisconsin's a 2.5-point favorite?
Yeah, Wisconsin is a 2.5-point home favorite.
So it's basically a pick'em game.
Yep, in the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe.
I love the trophy names in the Big Ten.
They're fun.
Give me Wisconsin. I think they'll cover. Wisconsin, less than a touchdown, more than a field goal, like 5-6 points.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to go the other way. I just think Minnesota has shown more offensive potential. I think certainly, obviously, last week, both Wisconsin and Nebraska took some significant steps forward on offense. But I'll take the Gophers in this one. I'll even take the over. We'll say these teams actually, crazier things have happened.
Very true.
All right. Moving along, I will say also, speaking of some fun rivalry games, I do need to make mention of a great tweet from Armando Hawkins about the victory bell and what color it should be painted because of
the W runs
certain
this
team
city
that wears purple that owns the city of LA this year. So, absolutely,
very true.
But moving on to a 4:30 game on NBC on Friday, and that is the bowl-eligible Nebraska Cornhuskers traveling into Iowa City to play the Hawkeyes, who are a 6-point favorite. Congratulations, Nebraska! You welcome back to bowling. Thanks for getting it
7
done.
years?
I did, yeah,
7
2016.
seasons.
I'm glad we don't have to hear about it anymore.
Yeah, right.
So the Hawkeyes are a 6-point favorite. Over-under is at 39.5. I'll go first on this one. And I'm going to take Iowa. Despite some significant concerns at the quarterback position, they still have Caleb Johnson.
Yeah.
They have a home field advantage. While Nebraska's improving and getting back to a bowl game, I don't know that this is the team that goes in and beats Iowa in Iowa. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to give those that are chasing the lead or chasing DJ and I's lead. DJ, I'm going to give you a chance here, and I'm going to say that Iowa even covers, which is that's not a gamble that I make comfortably, but I'll make that gamble.
Yeah, I'll go with Iowa as well. I will say Iowa does not cover and give me the under.
So Iowa. So we both have Iowa taking home the Heroes Trophy.
Oh.
Or no, yeah.
The Heroes
Trophy.
Heroes
Trophy. Moving on to an interesting time slot for this game, and not one that's well received in Columbus the last couple weeks, but a 9 a.m. game on Fox with the Michigan Wolverines traveling into play number 2 Ohio State, who is a 3-touchdown favorite with the over-under at 42.5 in simply what's known as the game.
Yeah. It's Ohio State, and it's Ohio State by a lot.
I think Ohio State covers the over by themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're that much offensive firepower, especially at the wide receiver position, playing a Michigan team, sans Will Johnson, Zeke Berry, and Jair Hill been getting eaten alive all year. So, yeah, there's just too much offensive firepower for Michigan to handle. And I think they'll win by, 3 touchdowns.
Yep. I'll put it this way. I don't think there's a lot of hope for Michigan to hold on to. The other 9 a.m. game on Saturday is number 23 Illinois traveling to Northwestern. Illinois is a 7.5-point favorite against their in-state conference opponent. Over/under is at 43.5. Double checking. This one is called This one is for the Land of Lincoln Trophy. I'll jump in and go first on this one. The Land of Lincoln Trophy's going to Champlain.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. I will take I'll take the under because I think Illinois will score on Northwestern. I just don't.
Northwestern's not contributing to those points.
Correct. That your take as well, Illinois, and they cover.
Yeah, Illinois covers, but the under for sure. I just don't see how Northwestern can score more than 10 points. So,
moving into a 12:30 game on the Big Ten Network. This one is the cheapest of the tickets to be found in the conference.
Yeah, I see that right now myself.
And that is the Terrapins traveling into play number 4 Penn State, who is a 25-point favorite, over/under at 50.5.
Penn State been flirting with disaster all season, but they're not this week. I'll go with Penn State by a lot.
Yep, agreed.
I don't know if they cover though. 25's a lot.
I think they've got some. There's still some prove it kind of, in margin and looking dominant late in the season. Look at the narratives that we saw from in the tail end of the season last year against, with our next opponent. And that the margin of victory is something, and I think that Penn State has enough, and particularly with the defense and with how Maryland's offense has really begun to fizzle. I'll take Penn State to cover. I'll take Penn State to cover, but the under.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then number 5, Notre Dame travels to USC. This one's on CBS from the Coliseum in LA. Notre Dame is a 7.5 point favorite at USC with the over under at 51.5.
Yeah, I like Notre Dame.
Yeah, I don't like Notre Dame, but
I like Notre Dame in this game.
Yeah. This one is the battle for they are playing for the jeweled shillelagh. Yeah, it's the jeweled shillelagh.
Okay, sure.
Northwestern and there's 3 shillelagh trophies that Notre Dame plays for. The shillelagh trophy they lost the shillelagh. The trophy is lost. Northwestern and Notre Dame used to play for the shillelagh. Notre Dame and Purdue played for the shillelagh trophy, and Notre Dame and USC played for the jeweled shillelagh. Unless USC gets a team transplant, they will have no chance of getting a trophy in this game, period. Like Notre Dame's quietly just been crushing people since.
They had that early hiccup, and the biggest upset of the season still. But other than that, like they've turned it around completely.
Yep. Yeah, Notre Dame wins, covers. I'll still take the under because I think that USC could present some interesting challenges with the talent that they have, but that would also require Lincoln Riley to make a commitment to consistently run the ball. And
Woody Marks has been criminally underused this season.
Very
as much
so.
as we've on this show talked about how criminally underused Jonah Coleman has been, Woody Marks more so.
Yeah, especially with the I was about to say with the even more questionable quarterback play, like, well, probably about even.
Yeah.
But all right. Another 12:30 game. This one on Fox Sports 1. That is Rutgers traveling to Michigan State. Spartans are a 1.5 point favorite. Over under at 47.5.
Rutgers has been playing decent ball lately. They haven't come out on top in all of their games, obviously, but they have been playing well. They played Illinois last week, right? Yeah, they played Illinois.
Yes,
and lost by a touchdown.
And lost in hilarious fashion.
They did. But they've been playing decent ball. They are bowl eligible. Michigan State is fighting for bowl eligibility. Being in East Lansing, give me Jonathan Smith and Aiden Childs to get this one.
Yep, I agree. I think he gets them to bowl eligibility. I think Michigan State. I'll say Michigan State covers, but it's the under. This one feels like
almost impossible to win and not cover this game, but so then 1.5.
Yeah, I know. I'm really close. Going out on a limb with the cover yet. I was just like, no safeties.
Right.
But I'll take the under.
Missed extra point.
Yeah, it's happened.
It has.
It's happened. All right. Next one, including a conference team, but is a non-conference game, is a battle a battle in California, and that is Fresno State traveling to UCLA. 12:30 kick on the Big Ten Network. UCLA is an 8-point favorite. Over under is at 46.5. And I do believe and with the loss last week in the game for the Victory Bell. UCLA cannot get to bowl eligibility. But I think Fresno State's still in a lot of transition right now, and I think UCLA has enough to get it done. I'll say it's closer than the spread, and I'll say UCLA wins but does not cover. And I'll take the over.
Yeah, I'm basically in full agreement there. Take the over. UCLA, yeah, I don't think covers. I just think you're asking too much of a UCLA team to not turn the ball over enough to cover in this game and keep Fresno State from scoring enough points to stay within 8. So UCLA by 5, 6.
Yep. And moving on to this one is the battle for the old, or this one's for the old Oaken Bucket, Indiana Purdue.
Old Oaken Bucket. Who came up with these names? I swear.
Yeah. This one in the Purdue football season is mercifully going to kick the bucket after this one. Indiana is a 29-point favorite. Over-under is at 56.5. Indiana has fallen down to number 10 in the country. It's a 4 o'clock game on Fox Sports 1. I'll go first. Indiana covers. And I'll even take the over.
Yeah.
But Indiana's going to be doing the vast share of that work.
Yeah. Indiana wins, covers. I still don't think they go over 56, maybe, but I doubt it. I think it's probably going to hit like 49, 51, maybe. But yeah, Signetti is going to be kind of pissed after that Ohio State loss, and the national narrative, at least with the SEC favoring College Football Playoff Committee, is that Indiana doesn't belong. So Indiana's going to go out there and score a bajillion points on them. So, yeah, give me Indiana by a lot.
Yep. All right. Well, let's move on into some bonus games. Scroll down. And we'll start with a 4:30 game on Friday that will be on ABC and ESPN Plus. It is Georgia Tech traveling to Athens. Georgia is a 19.5-point favorite. Over-under on this one is 53.5. Georgia Tech gave them everything. What?
I said I'll go Georgia.
Covering?
Yeah.
Tech gave them everything they could handle last year. I think Tech will give them a game again this year. I'll take Georgia not to cover, and I'll take the under in this one. But this is one for certainly if you're relaxing and sitting around on Friday. Keep eyes on this one because more SEC chaos is absolutely
better
possible.
For all. The more SEC chaos, the more joy for all the rest of college football fans.
Yep. We'll move on. We're gonna do let's do a number. We'll do a number of bonus games this week.
It's rivalry week. This is a fun one.
It's rivalry week. I will say I'm still not a huge fan of the 12-team playoff. I think the fact that we're talking about 3-loss SEC teams getting into the playoff, having a chance at the national championship, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's not what this sport is about. Again, media companies, ESPN, Fox, stop trying to make college football the NFL. It's not. It never should be. But it does make some of these games kind of fun because they do have implications.
Right.
And this one's got implications on both sides, and that's number 15 South Carolina traveling to number 12 Clemson. Clemson is a 2.5-point favorite with the over-under at 49.5. South Carolina, the Gamecocks do still have an outside chance at getting into the playoff at 3 losses. I'm going to say that it's actually, I don't think they actually get to the playoffs, but I'm going to take South Carolina in this one. Also, just because I want to see them keep Dabo out of their Clemson's outside shot at getting into the playoffs. So I'll take the Gamecocks in this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say basically the same thing. I think South Carolina has a shot, but I'll pick against Dabo Swinney anytime I get the chance to. So give me South Carolina.
All right. Let's pay a visit to the recently departed head coach of the Washington Huskies.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I think it's got to be going well for him down there, right? I mean, surely
he left
lose by 3
a
touchdowns
fantastic
to a
space in
defensive-minded
Seattle.
head coach. Yeah.
Like Sheridan, how you doing over there, buddy?
Fresh off that 21-point loss to the Oklahoma Sooners, who have not been booming, but they certainly boomed last week.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn does travel into number 13 Alabama. Again, fuck the playoff committee, anybody that thinks that Alabama deserves a shot at the playoffs after 3 losses. Hell no. Alabama is an 11.5-point favorite in the Iron Bowl, over under at 52.5.
My head says pick Alabama because they are the more talented team, better coach team. My heart says pick against Kalen DeBoer. My heart also says that the College Football Playoff Committee can go fuck themselves for giving Alabama even a remote chance at getting into the playoff. Trying to prop up as many SEC programs as they can, especially a program as decorated as Alabama. So I will pick Auburn and root for chaos because as a Mariner fan, we love chaos ball. So as much chaos as possible, please.
Yes. I would say that if this game was in Jordan-Hare, I would pick Auburn. It's not. It's in Tuscaloosa. I think Alabama wins. I don't think they cover. And I think it's the under. I don't, certainly based on Alabama's offensive struggles last week. And Auburn is still quarterbacked by Peyton Thorne. So
true.
Freeze has done a nice job with, and I can't believe I'm saying nice things about Hugh Freeze. But here we are. Has actually managed to be pretty smart about how that he's utilized what Peyton Thorne can do. So I unfortunately will take the Tide or pick the Tide to win this game. But I'm not going to feel good about that at all.
Yeah.
Another 12:30 game on Fox, or this one's on Fox, and that is the very much alive for the playoff. And who the hell thought this would happen coming into the season? Number 16 Arizona State traveling to Tucson as an 8.5-point favorite, over under at 53.5. We're gonna go back to stupid tweets. Basically, all of Arizona Twitter like, "Oh, we're so glad that Jed Fish and the staff are gone. We're going to be just fine without them." How you feel now?
Yeah. Word to Jason Shear and Iron Mike Luke and all you Arizona beat people.
Wild rats.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is the most surprising story. I was talking about it in one of our GCs, is Arizona State being in the driver's seat for the Big 10 or Big 12 championship game. Yeah, anybody that said Arizona State was going to be in contention for the conference championship, let alone the college football playoff, is full of shit. Or anybody that's saying that they thought this at the beginning of the season is full of shit. Give me ASU Kenny Dillingham is doing an incredible job coaching those guys, and his post-game press conferences are always so good and like riling
I
up
do
the
hope
fan
he's not
base.
suffering any ill effects from like probably an all-time epic galaxy brain
Yeah,
and
that.
game management scenario
Well,
from
I mean,
last
he
week.
he did talk about it in his presser about how like he hadn't spent enough time preparing for that type of scenario and learned from the mistake, blah blah blah. So, I mean, good for
Here's
him.
hoping he does, because
Yeah, yeah.
this
Well, he
game I
went to
don't
the
think will be.
he went to the Dan Lanning School of Late Game Clock Management. So, um, it's 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 something that I think he'll learn and he'll grow out of, hopefully. Um, but give me the Sun
Dilly,
Devils.
Dan, but not Dan.
Right, right. Well, Dilly's away from Dan now, so he can actually learn. Um, give me the Sun Devils.
Probably a better university in all things considered as well. So
Valid point.
more chances to learn there than
What's the
Speed.
line?
8.5.
8.5. I don't think they cover, but give me the Sun Devils. Um, yeah, give me the Sun Devils by a touchdown.
I'll say it's a cover. I'll take the Sun Devils, and I do think it's a cover. I think that Dillingham is a pretty good coach, and I think that anybody that doesn't understand that Arizona is basically like the Noah Fida, try to find it. Where's Tetaroa? Like that's all
Yeah,
their offense. Like, yep. I don't think I don't think Arizona has anything to scare
yeah.
uh,
All
Arizona
you
State this year.
Arizona, all you Arizona players that saw your draft stock tank after your offense went out on the field this year, come on up to Seattle for 2025 and let's make a run.
You are absolutely welcome here. Moving on to a 4:30 game that will be opposite our game on Saturday. Uh, really affordable tickets for this one. Lowest ticket price to get into Kyle Field on Saturday is $525.
Jesus.
This
Jesus.
is one where I'm glad they're playing this game again. It took them getting in, back into the same conference again,
Mm-hmm.
much to Texas A&M's chagrin. And this is number 3 Texas traveling to number 20 Texas A&M fresh off their dropped conversion attempt in the end zone loss to Auburn. Texas is a 5.5-point favorite. Over under on this one is at 48.5.
This game's gonna be crazy.
It is going to be crazy. I'll go ahead and make my prediction first on this one. I think particularly given the environment,
Mm-hmm.
and Husky fans, I think if you were on Twitter at all before the semifinal last year, let's just say that Texas is led by a coach who's not exactly Mr. Mellow
Yeah.
in pressure situations or in crunch time situations. Um,
Hell,
uh,
even the Alamo Bowl the year before the Sugar Bowl last year.
yeah, I think that as much as Mike Elko is probably never going to live down the press conference comment going into last week where he says, "Oh, we're focused on our next game." Auburn. I think the environment in College Station is going to be incredible, and I think Texas A&M gets the upset, and this one definitely would be throwing things even into further chaos.
Yeah.
So I'll take the Aggies, but I'll take it. I'll take the Aggies and the under.
Mm-hmm. What's the over under?
48.5.
48.5.
I
Yeah,
don't
it
trust Quinn
seems.
Ewers.
Yeah, I mean this game's gonna be nuts. Um, I think that yeah, for all the same reasons that you said, I don't trust Quinn. I don't trust Sark in a high leverage situation. That environment, the first time they're playing this game again, the first time they're conference opponents again. So yeah, I would say give me the Aggies in a close one.
All right, and then the final bonus game. It's ranked unranked in the Big 12, and it's number 24 Kansas State traveling to number 18 Iowa State. Cyclones are a 2.5-point favorite at home, with the over/under on this one at 51.5. Now this is crazy. This is a ranked game. Tickets are as low as $17 to go see a ranked game that
Ranked
has
on ranked.
a ranked
The
on
last
ranked
game of the
game that
season.
has last game of the season and if Iowa State wins, that locks up a spot for them in the Big 12 championship game. Like, that's crazy to me. I mean, I know it's Iowa, but
Yeah,
really,
$17 is insane.
if I was within driving distance, I'd go to this game for fun.
I know, right? Just for the hell of it.
I think this one actually might even be called Farmageddon.
Is it really?
I think so.
It's the most Iowa shit I've ever heard in my life.
Iowa and Kansas, yeah.
Farmageddon. Give me Kansas State.
Yeah, I'll take K-State as well. Iowa State's been very much Jekyll and Hyde. And I think the Cyclones fans might want to hide from the results on this one.
Yeah.
After it's over. All right. Well, without further ado, it's Washington traveling to number 1 Oregon. Oregon is a 19-point favorite. Over/under is at 50.5. It has been since 2021 in Jimmy Lake, since Oregon has won a game against the Washington Huskies. I mean, we need to come up with a name for this game. It's
I know.
Maybe the battle of selective history versus all of history.
Or to Emily E. Taylor on X Twitter.
I mean, it's really all of Duck fans that.
That's
like,
true.
Well,
that's true, but it's
the streak. Well, it's like discourse. Okay, well, like if our national championships that the voted on national championships as if there was another kind prior to 1998,
right?
Don't matter. But that doesn't matter. But a streak that ended a decade ago does.
I know. With each year that passes from the streak, the more that argument just makes no sense.
The number of times that I've seen, and I love the fact that they're still that the Cougars and the Ducks are still trying to bring up 2008. Like,
yeah,
cool.
That's their talking point every single time.
Yeah, and who's the only in the Pac-12 era? Who's the only team to ever go undefeated through an entire conference season and win the conference championship game?
Washington.
Before we give predictions, let's talk keys to the game, things you're going to be paying attention to, hoping to see things that will mean good things for Washington, things that will mean bad things for Washington. I certainly have a few, but certainly the floor is yours to start.
My number one key for this game is going to be quarterback contain on Dylan Gabriel. He makes so many plays outside the pocket on scramble plays, design quarterback run. Our edges are going to need to play with a insane amount of discipline in this game, and our linebackers need to be able to flow sideline to sideline to clean up the mess and rally to the ball and be able to stop him, force him to throw the ball away, these types of things. So there's going to be a lot on Russell Davis, Zach Durfee, Carson Bruner, Kamori House, Alfonso Tupatala. Those are going to be the 5 guys that I'm mostly watching in this game. Secondarily to that is going to be run defense against Jordan James. Our defensive secondary, our defensive backfield, I feel like is well coached and disciplined enough, especially guys like Thad and Cam Fab, that I'm not as concerned with Evan Stewart and Holden and Tez Johnson, who is coming back for this game, as much as I am containing Dylan Gabriel, because as good as our secondary is, it takes a lot to cover for that long. And when you let Dylan run around like that, guys are going to get open. No matter how good your secondary is, guys are going to find spaces when they have that amount of time to run around and get open. So
broken plays versus broken coverage.
Right, exactly. So
or the concern for Washington is broken plays versus broken coverage.
Right. So
or broken traditional coverage.
Contain on Dylan Gabriel is my main key, and then our interior defensive line against Jordan
Dylan
James.
Is not tall. If the to jump in briefly on that point, if you can keep Dylan in the pocket, interior D line.
Yeah, exactly.
Hands up.
Yeah.
Because he is not a tall man.
Right. And I mean, yeah, if you can get your hands up, bats and passes down, that's going to be a huge benefit to us. But yeah, interior lineman against Jordan James, or slowing down Jordan James, is going to be the second key for me.
Yep. And gap discipline from the line off that. Gap discipline from the linebackers, not over pursuing, not getting out of lane, because Jordan James he's a very, very, very good back.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly a key to the game, or aspirationally, if Lincoln Riley somehow body snatches Will Stein and says, where I'm just going to throw the ball 40 times a game.
Right.
I'd love to see it, because I don't think that's a recipe for success against our defense. But I definitely have concern about their running game against our defense, particularly in the absence of Javon Parker.
Right.
I agree with you on the other side of the ball. It's good. It's got to be tackle play.
Yeah.
Establishing it's tackle play and being able to establish some interior run. Jonah's not Ashton Genty. Nobody is Ashton Genty. Nobody in probably 5 to 10 years is a running back in college. Or probably at least 5 years is in terms of what Ashton Genty is able to do. But he had a lot of, Genty had a lot of success against this defense, inside, outside, everywhere. But to really open things up for the offense, you need to be able to make some hay inside. And then in terms of the tackle play, it's certainly good news that it sounds like Maximus McCree is going to be a full go. The more depth you have at the lines, particularly with a team like Oregon, that matchup on whoever's got to block Mateo Uyunglele is going to have to do some serious work, because he is playing some great football right now. That's a huge key. Who starts at quarterback? Obviously a big key. Nothing against Will Rogers. My strong advocacy would be for it to be DeMond Williams, because he just presents a different element. And a couple of the plays that he made in the second half last week.
The magician Houdini, I said it in our Sound the Siren text thread, that he has a little bit of that Russell Wilson, early 2012 Seahawks Russell Wilson in him, to just escape and disappear in the pocket. The one play, I think it was when he ducked, I can't remember if it was Toya, and then ran into Medrano and then kept going. It just reminded me of Russell Wilson against the Patriots in Seattle in that game, on that third down conversion run that he had. But yeah, no, DeMond has an insane ability that Will just doesn't bring to the table. So yeah, I would agree. I would advocate for DeMond to start.
Yeah, is this a game that Washington is likely to win?
No.
Is it a game Washington can win?
Absolutely.
Yes. If Washington can do, and Oregon is going to be up for this game. And here's one of the big keys for this is also like there's a possibility like Oregon could be 2 up for this game.
Yeah.
Like Lanning has something to prove. And so, I mean, like, and there's absolutely an avenue where Oregon is up for this game, plays well. If we don't bring our A game and Oregon just blows the doors off, that's absolutely a possibility. That said, I have a little bit of a feeling that this might be the best performance or I certainly hope, and I think we will see probably the best performance from the Huskies on the road this year in this game. And I certainly think, kind of proactively, I mean, Damon just presents a different challenge. I think, Damon, and it's not just what Damon can do in those broken plays where it's like Mateo could have him dead to rights and Damon's just like, now you see me, now you don't. But it's also the different things that you can do with Damon at quarterback and where Jed can really get into his bag in terms of some things to really keep, Oregon's defense honest or catch them on an over pursuit is certainly something that's possible.
Right.
And then on the flip side for us defensively, it really is, can we get pressure? I think this is also an opportunity, like, there's, to my mind, there's minimal risk, in us starting Damon on offense. And we are now joined by the Darker Knight. We're in the middle of breaking down this Oregon preview, so your timing is perfect. As we need you to talk us through the path of how we get to the duck lose. And what I was saying is that there's at this point very little risk in playing the freshman as opposed to Will Rogers on the offensive side of the ball. But the other thing that this game presents an opportunity for is this is also a game where the stakes are very high, but it's also an opportunity for Belichick to really get into the bag and really throw some things out there that Dillon Gabriel and the Ducks haven't seen yet either. But what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think, it's really going to come down defensively for us. It's going to come down to our pass rush and being able to impact the pocket. If you give Dillon Gabriel time back there to just, 6-7 seconds, I mean, people are going to be open eventually, coverage bust, all that type of stuff. I think this is a game where Belichick kind of goes back to what he did the first 5-6 games of the year, when he's kind of being more aggressive and applying more pressure, kind of similar to what Boise State did earlier on, where they confused Dillon a lot, and they just kept attacking. They didn't wait to see what Oregon was doing. If you're going to throw short, it's because we're going to force you to throw short. You're not going to be sitting back there all day, gearing up for a deep ball. And then offensively, it's just, taking care of the ball. I think Damon would be a big factor in this game, the way he can extend plays and help some receivers in case they don't uncover. But I do like our size at receiver in this game, especially against their corners outside. So I think we can have a big day outside if we do decide to throw the ball. If you are able to protect and Oregon doesn't get there with four, they can be picked apart. That's what teams have done all year. It's just you have to be able to block them consistently. So it's going to be a big test for our offensive line. I know we battled some injuries, but if they're able to just be stout, just be good, kind of give us that performance similar to what we did against Michigan, where I think they kind of put it all together and started to figure it out in the second half. I think you could be surprised at what the outcome would be.
Yep. All right, let's get to predictions. Who wants to go first on score predictions and how it happens?
I don't know. I don't know,
right.
man.
I'll throw it down. Washington gets to 4-0 against Dan Lanning.
Ooh.
Dogs 32, Ducks 28. And for the first time this year, The defense scores. And it's Alfonso Tupatala on a scoop and score.
Wow.
Ooh, calling the shot.
Probably, and I'm going to bet it's an Alfonso scoop and score off of a strip by Russell Davis.
There you go.
I like that. I'm gonna say a Dogs win a wild classic rivalry game in Eugene. I predict the Huskies force at least 2 turnovers. I do believe we'll pick Dylan Gabriel off at least once. And I think our pass rush will be much improved with Deuce Davis coming around the corner to really impact the game on that side of the ball. I think this is going to be known as a Damon Welcome to America party, where the nation kind of gets to see him in somewhat a primetime game. Really showcase what the future of Husky football is going to look like. And I do believe him and Jonah Coleman will end up kind of bringing it home late. I got the Huskies winning a primarily defensive battle. I'm going to say, give me 26-24. Grady Gross hits a game-winning field goal.
Oh,
wouldn't that be it?
That too.
Wouldn't that be icing on the cake of this year, especially for Grady?
I like that.
Yeah, I was going to touch on turnovers as well. I feel like Dylan Gabriel's good for 1 or 2 real boneheaded throws in the red zone every game, and we need to capitalize on them, whether it's a tip or just straight picking it off. I think that Demond has shown that he can bring a new element to this offense. He also, I feel like, shows a little bit more trust in his receivers than Will Rogers does. We saw, like in the Penn State game, hitting Jeremiah Hunter on a slant timing route that we just don't see Will throw very often, if ever. So I think that Demond's trust with the receivers and his escapability will add a new element to the offense that will allow us to score some points and stay more competitive in a very hostile environment on the road in the rivalry game. So I will say the Huskies will pull this out. I am going to go with Washington 27, Oregon 21.
I like that.
All right. So we're unanimous there. Any final thoughts? I got it. We got to cycle back to HuskyCouture again because
I was about to say we can't not touch on that, bro.
Putting us to shame, man. Is that new? You got to show off that jacket. That's stupid, man.
I appreciate y'all fellas as usual.
The jacket goes dumb.
The correct W with that Husky word mark is just
Hooligan. I'm with you though. If they bring back the Lambright shirts, my wardrobe gonna be different. I need those. I don't care where I'm at. I'm about to wear one of those. I'm gonna figure it out.
I need to get back in a little bit better shape for that. But here's, please. I think Simply Seattle might be working on it. All right, well, any final thoughts on this one, or should we just call it a show?
I'd say Darker Knight, you got to run through what is this gauntlet of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 games.
Okay, let's not. We'll send you the list. Like we're going to be here next Tuesday. Through all those games.
It's rivalry week. There's a lot to go through, but no, you don't got to do that right now.
Man, I'm already knowing. Yeah, I'm sure we'll figure it out on Twitter later.
But fear not, we definitely in the bonus games, the Iron Bowl this week is definitely included.
Oh, you talk about
the Iron Bowl.
Will Kalen DeBoer still be the head coach at Alabama next season? Stay tuned.
That's looking like a real question.
4 losses like that.
Alabama Twitter was not kind.
They were losing their minds after like the first couple, like let alone losing to Oklahoma by 3 scores.
I mean, even if they do keep Kalen, I have a feeling that Nick Sheridan's about to get fired.
Oh, casualty? Yeah.
They got to give him something.
Yep. All right. Well, we will be back next week to recap this one. Everybody, thanks for listening. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs, baby.